Exodus chapter 20, verse 12. Honor your father and your mother, that your days may be long upon the land which the Lord God is giving you. Yesterday, we saw in the Ten Commandments that it was a sin to worship other gods, and to worship idols, and to take the name of God in vain. Today, we will look at commandments relating to man. The first 4 of the 10 commandments deal with our relationships with God, and the last 6 with our relationships with each other. The first of these last 6 commandments, and the most representative of them, is the commandment in regard to parents. Many people say that Christianity does not teach respect for parents, but these are the words of people who don't know the Bible very well. The Bible teaches substantially, and in the most specific of terms, that we are to honor our parents. Confucianism and other doctrines teach filial duty for one's parents after their passing, for example, in the form of strict ancestral rites. But the Bible teaches us to honor our parents while they are still alive. As it says here, honor your father and your mother, that your days may be long upon the land which the Lord God is giving you. This commandment regarding parents is the only one that promises a blessing in return for keeping it, quite apart from the matter of sin. If you want to succeed and be blessed in your physical life too, you need to make a good job of respecting and obeying your parents. This is a special promise that has been made in the Bible. That isn't to say that you will be punished on the spot if you treat your parents badly. But the Bible promises that if you show respect for your parents and treat them well, you and your descendants will definitely be blessed. This is a promise. But if you don't honor your father and mother, and instead you cause them grief and worry, that is a sin. Such action becomes a sin. And it is a sin before God as well. Your parents serve as God's proxies on earth. You can't see God, but while your parents are alive, they act as His proxies. They are the ones you should respect. If you defy or disobey your parents, a terrible judgment awaits you. Next, verse 13. You shall not murder. Murder. I assume that nobody here has actually killed or murdered anyone. But there is one kind of murder that you might perhaps have committed. Abortion. It seems that there are many cases in which the baby in the womb is removed surgically. That is murder. Since people can't actually see the baby being conceived and developing with their own eyes, they don't think of it as murder when they have it aborted. But I have a videotape, and this person was a physician. He had performed abortions over a period of many years, and as he carried out these operations to abort the fetuses, his conscience kept bothering him. So later, he started taking pictures of the fetuses in the womb. He took pictures of the babies while they were in the womb. And he also took pictures of the actual surgical procedure. A surgical instrument was inserted, and the legs of the fetus were cut off, and the arms were cut off, and then even the neck was severed. All of this is shown in the video. Think about this. It is murder, without any doubt. People don't think of this as murder, because they can't actually see it. But if a child has been conceived in the womb, and its body is already beginning to form, killing that child is definitely murder. You need to consider that the sin of murder carries with it a very heavy penalty. Next it says, you shall not commit adultery. It is no sin for a legitimately married couple to sleep together and have a sexual relationship. That is the way God intends it to be. But when you have a sexual relationship with someone when you are not married, even if you are engaged to be married, it is considered adultery. Why is it adultery if you are engaged? If you are engaged, it means that you have promised to marry in the future. It doesn't mean that you are already husband and wife. A sexual relationship is only acceptable between husband and wife. It is only acceptable between husband and wife. If you have a sexual relationship with someone to whom you are not married, that is the very grave sin that is referred to as adultery. These days, most people have become desensitized to sexual sins. Women and men have sexual relations before marriage. And if they find they are compatible, then they get married. This applies to both men and women. When it comes to the matter of virginity, this is the equivalent of a person's life. This is because people who carefully guard their virginity are able to keep themselves from committing other sins as well. They are able to turn away from other sins as well. But once their virginity is violated or is taken from them, the defenses in their hearts immediately crumble, and their lives fall apart. Their strong determination is also broken down. Once that happens, they become insensitive to sin in general. They think it doesn't matter now, since their bodies have already been defiled, and they just give in. After that, they feel free in their hearts to commit other sins as well. You must understand that your virginity is your life. To lose one's virginity is the same as losing one's life. You should carefully guard your virginity until you meet the one man or woman you can really love, and you offer it to that person. In this way, the two people can become one body and one family, and they can live together happily as one unit. From the moment a man or woman hears that their spouse has had a physical relationship with another woman or man in the past before they were married, his or her heart changes. It may even bring their love to an end. This is how serious this matter is. But in our present day and age, these values are all crumbling, and we can see how this way of life is being completely destroyed. This age has become decadent, and our world is corrupt, and in a state of complete confusion. If any one of you has had sexual relations outside of wedlock, you will receive a very grave punishment. If you aren't humble and don't repent, there is no way that faith can come to you. Next, you shall not steal. I don't need to explain what is meant by stealing. If you have ever taken anything from anyone without them knowing, you need to repent what you have done. And next, you shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. This is saying that you are not to deceive others by telling a lie, and you are not to say things that are not true about other people, starting false rumors. Next, in verse 17, it says, "You shall not covet your neighbor's house. You shall not covet your neighbor's wife, nor his male servant, nor his female servant, nor his ox, nor his donkey, nor anything that is your neighbor's." Covetousness, too, is the starting point of many a sin. So we have these 10 commandments. An explanation about the commandment regarding the Sabbath day would be rather too complicated to deal with now, so we'll just skip over it. As you read these verses, ask yourself if any of these commandments trouble you in your heart. Perhaps you are troubled because you have disobeyed your parents. If you are troubled by any of the commandments you have read here, you need to take that matter before God and repent sincerely.